Hello, Raiders. We are back for the next episode of our own Raiders Rambles. I am Jolt, chief host of the podcast, and as always, with me on the show is none other than the co-host, Avira.
Hey everybody, it's your candy corn doggo back at you again.
Next up, we got some good returning guests. First and foremost, Mikhail.
Hello.
Good
Good
to
to
be
be
back,
back
hey?
again. Yeah, very good to be back.
Always have a pleasure having you around. Next panelist is Can, who goes by lots of crazy other names.
Yo.
Welcome back.
Yes.
And last of all, we have Sparky.
Hi, guys.
Perfect.
I'm sorry, does anyone notice that we got two people with voltage names? Like Jolt.
Oh, hey, we could have been worse. We could have had another one, but you know what? That's neither here nor there. Honestly, we could. Potential for that is always there. Anyways, so let me begin by saying that there are stories that develop and that we have to keep you guys up to date on them. And it's not just because sometimes they're good because they have a lot of buzz surrounding them and it's just fun to talk about them. Case in point, the live action Sonic movie.
Yes.
Now
Look,
we talked about this quite some time ago.
Yes,
was
we did
first
this in an
developed.
episode titled Live Action Lunacy. You can always
Indeed.
revisit that. But yes, look at the design of the new live action Sonic.
Oh. All right. Well,
We
And
look
up-
deep in art stuff.
Come on, that's giving them a little bit too much credit, don't you think?
I mean, it's better than before.
But look,
Yeah,
I
will
just
say
don't
though,
see how this could be. Like, I don't know how this is gonna work out though.
I mean, okay, I will give them credit that the design looks somewhat better, but
it
it
looks better
still
than
looks.
before.
Yeah, if the film was fully computer animated, like if you saw the opening scenes from was that the Sonic Unleashed, those computer animated type of stuff, it would have it would make a lot of people want to watch it.
look. I mean, if you
Yeah.
had that cartoony old style, like even the Sonic Boom aesthetic, yeah, okay, that would have been good.
I mean, yeah, actually, even if they went with the old aesthetic from the original Sonic the Hedgehog movie, you know, the
One with
you know,
Sonic gets the finger.
the one where it's like, shut up, Tails!
Precisely. Then they'd have an urge to watch it. But
Yeah,
no.
I would watch it if it had that art style.
And now
But-
we get this.
But yeah, we get this instead, and I just
And
like
because
it
of
looks better
because
than the last design, but still,
because
So-
we get this, I
Guys,
fear for what
I'm not really up to date on the whole video game scene. Is there any new Sonic games that have came out recently?
Sonic Forces. But other than that, Sonic Mania, Sonic Forces. But other than that,
I don't know.
Like, I'm wondering why are they making this movie? You know?
I've
is
been
it just
playing
for
too
nostalgia?
live
long.
action is a freaking trend. That's why they gotta have that dollars.
It's just a nostalgia cash grab, really?
mm-hmm.
They're not even
That's
making
pretty
a new
much-
game?
You know what?
Well, you know what's another thing that I'm kind of disappointing at is that they haven't really made they don't really have any more like the Sonic cartoons or something like that.
Yeah,
like the
right.
first
That's what
one.
I'm thinking
The
about.
first Sonic cartoon was amazing.
It started it and all that. But
Gotta
now,
go fast. Gotta go fast.
you know what?
Oh,
Look,
that's,
read-
no,
look
that's,
at
that's
the-
okay now.
Look at the personality that they've built for Sonic. Brand personality. Irreverent and sarcastic. Heroic and adventurous. Confident and competitive. Chill and likable. Mischievous but not malicious.
Wait, how can he be mischievous and chill? Like this guy's speeding all over the place. He's not chill. He's Sonic. He's going fast. I don't know. Never mind.
He's a racer on speed.
I mean, like he's not a chill dude. He's always like out and about and doing his thing, bouncing around and whatnot.
You know what, though? This design basically makes me fear for what they're going to do to Tails, to Knuckles, to Amy, to Shadow.
Honestly, at this point, I don't even want to see it.
Right.
Say what? Come
If
on.
that's what Sonic looks like, I don't want to see Tails.
Oh no! What would Tails look like? Oh. I think. Oh no! I just realized something. What would Knuckles look like?
Oh no!
No.
Uganda Knuckles 2.0.
Do you know the way, my brother? Do you know the way?
There's definitely I can say if Knuckles is a legitimate Ugandan voice now at this point.
Yeah, right? Totally.
Oh god, they have
But
to.
if I stopped and thought about it, all I thought Knuckles would look like, he'll just have Sonic's same face, but almost the same face that Sonic has.
Oh god.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing, except he's red and he's like derpier. I mean, I guess
they would probably make the one in VR chat, the Ugandan Knuckles, look more better.
Hey, at least the VR chat Knuckles wouldn't be, would at least have a place in the actual Sonic verse.
If they had him in this movie and they like used like a Jamaican guy to use like for his voice, I would be completely satisfied with that.
Well, you know what? Actually, I would actually go to the movie just for the memes.
Exactly. He'd be like, "Hello,
Dr.
Sonic, my brother. How you doing today?" Like,
I was thinking like if Dr. Eggman would have wiped his mind.
You gotta remember, Eggman is now voiced by Jim Carrey.
Oh, that's right. He is.
That's gonna be crazy.
Oh wait, isn't Jim Carrey actually like physically playing him too?
I don't know if they used his likeness, but goddamn.
Well, Jim Carrey did play on The Mask as well.
Yeah, well, they can have some CGI and stuff, but like, it might look kind of weird though. Like, I don't know how they're gonna do that.
Yeah, but
I don't know how it would blend.
I don't think it's gonna work too well. But either way, the second story we've got to update you guys on about is the one that you've already seen. Literally go fly about everywhere. It's Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and fun fact, guys, today Captain Marvel was officially released, and it's International Women's Day. Shocker, right?
Oh wow.
Yeah. So they're totally going for all the shills right there. Oh, International Women's Day! Hooray! It's a feminist movie.
Speaking of shills and that, look at the reviews, even from critics for Captain Marvel. Okay, look, this is Metacritic. 30 positives, 20 things, and 1 negative. And we'll start from the bottom. New York Post, 38 out of 100.
Wow. Uh-oh.
Okay,
I have to wonder
and then,
whether or not Marvel itself have actually been pushing this to be like the big thing, because I found out that even the state cinema in Australia is having it on there, and usually you don't see Marvel movies at the state cinema.
Speaking of cinemas and that, that brings us to the next fair point. Show you cinemas around my area and their listings for Sunday and today. Captain Marvel.
Yes. I sent Joel this earlier about
3,
how
4,
basically
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17 time slots on Sunday.
Oh, and you want to show them for my city, Jolt?
Oh, I'll give. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because today there's freaking 20 listings. Tomorrow there'll be 31.
And compared to all the other movies, look, A Dog's Way Home, 4 listings. Green Book, 2. Alita, 4. King of Thieves, 3. What Men Want, 3. Greta, 3. Stan and Ollie 1. Bohemian Rhapsody. You get the idea. is
You
that
know,
Captain.
I was skeptical about Alita Battle Angel, but it looks better than Captain Marvel. It really
Oh
does.
yeah, I watched that movie, but no, I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. They're really trying to push this.
Yeah, Anita. I watched Anita Battle Angel, but actually, that movie is based off of a manga.
Well, Captain Marvel is based off of a comic book, but unfortunately, the actress who plays Captain Marvel is a complete SJW piece of garbage. Like she really is. Like she's a racist. She's a sexist against men. It's really awful the things that she's been saying. So it's no wonder that people don't even want to see the movie. And it's also no wonder that Disney is pushing this so far to push this, agenda. Like, oh well, women in movies. What a great thing. Now you know what? Wonder Woman was a great movie. It was cool. It had a female character. Like whatever. But in this instance, she just didn't pull it off right. But to say that it's a bad movie and then for them to call you sexist for saying that, I think that's pretty messed up.
Yeah, it's no different than the freaking what Battlefield 5 did to their freaking fans. They're pretty much, you don't freaking shit on your audience for basically criticizing your product.
What about the Air Force officers that were in the whose planes were in the movie?
And I was gonna get to write that.
Yeah, I would. If I did play one of the Battlefield games, I'll go back to playing Battlefield 4 since that's one of the greatest games. That's a really good game.
I would actually sooner Battlefield 1 to me was okay, and I would be willing to play that as well as Battlefield 4 and all that. That's why not many people are playing Battlefield 5, are they?
No, it's going to work, like they said, Anyway, speaking of Air Force, here's a good one that we've got to show you to tell you how disastrous Captain Marvel has really become. Whose jets are featured in Captain Marvel won't even see the movie for free.
That's sad. That's really sad.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a soldier actually did make a tweet about it, got deleted, but it was actually captured, and he says that a tweet from a soldier who claims they're in the military unit whose jets are featured in Captain Marvel reported that Disney can't even fill a 500-seat theater with free tickets provided to the military unit.
And
you know what? It's so obvious. Like I said, this was the cover of Brie Larson's ass. And Captain Marvel by extension.
The thing I'm concerned about is the fact that there was a tweet put out negative about the film, and the soldier or Air Force operator was told to remove the tweet.
Yes,
that's
concerning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's censorship, and I don't know if you guys knew about this, but I might have mentioned this earlier, but there were 50,000 negative reviews about Captain Marvel that were deleted from the public. So
yeah, and actually, if you go,
because people are assholes.
Well,
not people, but the companies that try to promote this movie, they are legitimately trying to censor people's negative opinions of this movie because they're like,
because of the people who made the movie and stuff.
Well, yeah, exactly, but they're actively trying to censor people's opinions about this movie because they want to gain profit, and they don't want negative perception of this crap SJW feminist movie.
And they don't realize it's just going to push that's just going to cause the customers to be pushed further away.
That's right. It always happens. I mean, look at Ghostbusters. The same thing happened with the Lady Ghostbuster movie.
Battlefield 5.
With that?
EA.
Look, if they had turned around and said any Air Force previous or current Air Force operator was to go see this movie and get half off, I'm pretty sure that would be a good, marketing ploy.
Yeah.
The only thing I can get, I can watch the movie, but I don't know. I saw the trailer, but that was good though.
I'm not gonna
better than the film.
Oh yeah, by the way, for some of the reviews on Google for Marvels, some of the reviews are actually they have they're different people, of course, but it has the same kind of copy-pasted review.
Oh, so they're probably like bot accounts.
Yeah, there probably are actual bots made by these companies just to put good reviews up in order to outshadow the negative.
There are actual services that a person can hire to get positive reviews.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really scary. Like that's like your own opinion doesn't matter, you know? Like if you make a review,
you just throw enough money to hush them up and fill up like crazy, and then that's it.
Yeah.
But hey,
and
what do
they're
we
gonna
know?
delete it.
We're like the consumer that nobody cares about.
Yeah, because people are socialist assholes that want to control you.
That's not much shit.
No,
It's rather,
companies.
Companies.
Small amount of people, not people in general. Come on, man.
And like this shouldn't even be an issue. Like that's the thing. It's just a freaking movie. But the thing is that the main actress is so against white males. I don't know if you guys saw what she said about,
yeah, she's just wanted less white male critics, and then like her freaking damage control for it was just.
So I'm sure a lot of people aren't going to see the movie just because of that.
And you know what made things worse though? Remember the Air Force unit also. Remember if Brie Larson also said she wants less white males. You gotta ask, what's the majority demographic in the Air Forces? White male.
White cis male.
Oh, of course they have to go there. Of course they always have to play the bloody race card.
Always. And it's crazy. Like when you go to the movies, you're supposed to escape the world for a little while and just enjoy the adventure.
Not be reminded and bombasted constantly with these, with you being constantly reminded about how much of a piece of shit you are.
Well, it just the whole agenda being, shoved down your throat. I mean, that's not what you go to the movies for. Like, that's not what it's all about.
But you know what, though? Like that maybe Marvel's relationship with the armed forces might just be strained if something kind of like this happens.
Well, I mean, think about who doesn't like the armed forces when it comes to politics. It's typically the left. They don't like the armed forces and or America, basically.
Oh yeah, the frickin' far left despises the armed forces up here in Canada too, and it's actually pretty bad right now at the moment, especially with frickin' Trudeau in power.
My concern would be any sort of damages that may occur later on in the future because of Captain Marvel. For instance, if the Air Force feel like they've been pressured too much by the directors to, do things that they shouldn't, what's the likelihood that the Air Force later on in the future is going to want to cooperate with another movie?
So what you're saying is that they probably had the Air Force do stuff in the making of the film that they probably didn't want to do. Is that what you're saying? It was more
deleting the tweet. Sort of side things. Not providing showing that. Well, sorry, the people who are involved with flying the aircraft, they should have been allowed to see the movie for free.
They just decided, if they didn't want it, then that's kind of like if they were offered a free ticket and they didn't want it, there's something may not be right.
But it sounds like in the review that it's not they have decided not to watch it; it's that they have been told they can't.
Right.
You can't get a free ticket to go see it, so there's a GoFundMe campaign so little girls can go and see Captain Marvel for free.
Oh, there's that too, yeah.
There was that one thing that kept getting people nostalgia on the trailer, which actually I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, there's that. Because Captain Marvel basically crashed through the roof of a Blockbuster video store.
Oh, yeah.
So the movie's based in the past and not present?
Yeah, I think it's like based around the 90s.
1995.
Oh, okay.
Fun. But alas.
Okay, so that basically shows just how out of touch they are.
Well, you can't throw Captain Marvel in the deep end with the way so what I saw in the trailer is they were talking about an alien race that was brought up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, the Kree and the Skrulls.
Yes.
Captain Marvel is a Kree, and the Skrulls are like these reptilian kind of shape-shifting creatures.
Which would, if this was based in, say, 95 or around that sort of era, it would make sense in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. how they knew about them and how those aliens did actually come to Earth a couple of times.
Right. And that's exactly why this is set, 20 years in the past. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, the thing is, like, Captain Marvel, like, it's weird. Like, you know what? I don't know where I was going with that.
But it's also confusing because they generally don't like humans.
Well, I was talking about, like, nostalgia, basically. But, yeah, so the entire movie itself, I mean, I've heard good and bad things about it. It just came out today. There's been a lot of reviews, and yeah, they do rely a lot on the nostalgia, like the blockbuster, like you mentioned. They also show things like, a lot of things from like the mid '90s. A lot of like what like millennials grew up with. And yeah, I get that. Like that's that's cool.
And at the end of the day, they're really relying on having all these movies, booking out all these theaters to try and boost viewership.
Right, yeah.
Is it really going to work out?
Well, the amount that I've seen Captain Marvel jam down the throats, there's a store in town where they sell nothing but like gaming stuff. Not games itself, but just gaming stuff. And the front of the shop is just plastered with Captain Marvel.
Oh. Fun.
She's not an interesting character, though. Like, that's the thing. Like, she's so emotionless and alien-like.
Mary Sue characters never are.
Exactly. Like, look at Rey from freaking Star Wars. I mean, she's bland as possible.
But either way, that's essentially it, though, because even the actor was criticized for blank expressions a lot.
Right, yeah. Well, they both were, honestly.
Yeah. But alas, though, I think that should just be kind of like where we were at right now. And just as a transition to some other things next. Yeah. Here's some funny live comments just to distract us from this mess. Rockstar Husky. I'm just waiting for somebody to make the original 2 Fallouts into movies. How would that turn out? Hey, as long as Bethesda doesn't have the grubby hands. Wait. But hey, that's pretty much the gist of what we're going to cover for that. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with this movie. I think it's going to continue to bomb. Now, I'm not sure exactly what their projected like income is going to be, but I don't know. They're trying. They're trying to promote this as best as they possibly can. I don't think it's going to do very well.
Yeah.
I think audience are smarter than that.
Oh, of course. Yeah, they're not given enough credit. But hey, that's where we're at. So, next up, we have furries making appearances on, shows on popular YouTubers, including H3H3. And you know what famously happened is because a certain Popufur decided that, he wasn't going to do it with H3, appear on the show H3H3 because reasons.
Well, he was invited on the show, and after he announced it, by the way, guys, we're talking about Majira Strawberry here. He announced it on his Twitter publicly, and he got backlash from the mob. They're like, you can't go on that show. He's a transphobe. He hates this and that, and it's terrible, and oh my goodness. And he eventually backed out because he thought it wasn't good for his reputation to be on this particular show.
Right.
It's just a bunch of salty SJW furries.
It's not so much that. There's also, he blah, blah, blah about H3. Never mind the fact that, never mind H3's politics. But rather, But alas, their loss is whatever it is. So instead, what H3 did was end up doing the show by themselves and actually buying spoof fursuits, which you can see here.
Yeah, and these fursuits, by the way, were bought from something called DHgate, which is essentially a Chinese knockoff version of fursuits, where Chinese companies will steal people's original characters and recreate fursuits in a very cheap manner and resell them to people.
Look at that freaking face, though.
But they didn't.
Oh,
they didn't
wow.
know any better. I mean, oh goodness, oh my god, no,
No, that's.
come on.
And look,
I mean,
and to top things off, Hila, the other host on H3 show, also did get another knockoff suit.
and by the way, both of these characters are actual characters created by other furries, and these fursuits were made without their permission.
Right.
Because this company created them after they stole their pictures from the internet.
I'd say stole the design, not the actual pictures, because if they stole the pictures, then they would have had to have accessed something that they, or people on the internet generally, wouldn't have access to.
Well, they're pretty well-known furries, so it's why their pictures were readily available. But the thing is, like, I'm wondering, like, is it, like, why do you think that they tried to do this? Now, these guys are not furries, and they invited Majira, who is a furry, on their show. Do you think that's okay for them to do that? To, like, pretend to be a furry, like, to play along with him? Like, is that kind of weird? I don't know.
It depends what their intent was.
I was like, would Foxler take Majira's place someday? I don't know.
This was why I would
Do an interview with a
disclaimer.
famous YouTuber.
Our folks would gladly go on H3's show.
Hell
Dude,
yeah,
you know.
I would.
Oh yeah, if they invited us, I would would want to be on that show too. Cause holy crap.
And who knows, if I actually was on like H3 Live, I would bring you know exactly who I'd bring. Not what I'd bring to-
Me! Right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
But no,
well,
I mean, okay, but like, what I'm saying is, like, why is it that these guys had to feel the need to buy these knockoff fursuits for a couple $100
I don't
just
think
to
they- like I
interview
said,
Majira?
I'm not sure if they knew better, and then
No, but like, why would they even do that though? Like, do you
can
find that
you
kinda
imagine
weird?
like any proper furry interviewing H3 with those suits? Knockoffs,
Yeah,
too, no less.
Majiro would probably be like, "What the hell are you guys doing? Like, don't you know what those things are? Like, stop it! Like, go away." I think he'd be very uncomfortable. I would be. I'm like, dude, that's cosmic suit. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's not even a thing.
Yeah. And then you know
Yeah,
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, freaking Ingu in the chat. At least it wasn't the Walmart fursuits, lol.
Wait, there were fursuits at Walmart?
Just the heads.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have fursuit heads now at
Fair
Walmart.
point. Would you like? There's really a no-win situation if somebody gets either a Walmart head or a DH Gates suit.
I mean, I would rather pay money for Walmart suit head than DHgate.
Precisely.
Because DHgate actually steals designs from people who created their own characters.
Yeah, true.
You know, at least Walmart has like the Maskimals, and it's like a generic type of thing. It's like, you know, even though it looks like total crap, you know, it's not like stolen.
But hey, you know who else? Like after this, though, you know who else did get the furries onto their show? The Smosh guy, Anthony.
He did, yes.
Right. He actually
And
did.
I think he did a much better job.
Yes,
It was good.
he did actually also end up interviewing the furries one by one.
Mhm.
And indeed, they did talk about a lot of interesting things about the hobby too, like, and the general rundown of what it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what did grab me though? Like one of the hosts there also said, "Is furryism about drinking?" I was like, "Oh hell yeah, it is. It happens a lot."
Yeah, I mean, like, at cons, at room parties. Yeah, of course it does. Yeah.
Yeah, there's gonna be
Yeah,
partying.
the fandom has an alcohol problem. It's just people go to hospital every day at a freaking
I mean,
con.
this is what happens when you bring the freaking party scene to the floor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Well, an alcohol problem and definitely a drug problem. Like, that shit, it's just everywhere. And at cons, unfortunately, that's just how it is.
But I mean, at the end of the day, though,
But that's not what the whole fandom's about. It's just like at parties. Yeah, I mean, that stuff kind of happens. But
Yeah,
I think
room
that Smosh-
parties, a little bit of not safe for work stuff.
Yeah,
But
to
general
be fair,
adult
though,
stuff.
I think that Smosh did a really good job of kind of having an overview of what the fandom was really about, and it was pretty cool, actually. He was
with
very
genuine
unbiased about it.
people too, no less.
At least it wasn't a Fur and Loathing repeat.
Oh,
It wasn't.
no.
Oh.
CSI.
Of course, I remember.
Oh.
It's crazy. Like, that one episode still haunts us to like this day. Freaking 15 years later.
It's like we have.
Hey, at least they're starting to get some good publicity now in terms of like TV shows. Like, have you ever seen that episode of Lucifer?
Yeah,
I think I still have it.
we remember talking about this too, and it wasn't such a bad press.
Well, I mean, getting back to the whole Smosh topic, I mean, like, he really did do a good job of talking to people who make fursuits, who make artwork, or who are just interested in the whole idea of the fandom to begin with. And I think he did some pretty good reporting, and it seems like the media is becoming a little bit better at reporting on us. They don't think that we're all just a bunch of degenerates or anything crazy like that.
Unless, of course, it's Christian media.
They did also try to figure out what Smosh's persona would be like that. They range from everything, including a lion to a doggo.
For some reason, I'm thinking otter. I don't know. He just seems like an otter.
I think the most votes probably went out to probably a golden retriever.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And I mean, at least it had. But what did gripe me though? The presence of pronouns being listed on every furry on display.
Oh my god, yeah. These non-binary people that come on. I'm a they them. It's like, no, you're not. You're one person. What are you talking about?
Well, I could make fun of it and be like, oh, I identify as there because I identify as a location.
Right?
So my pronouns are there.
I mean, he should have just said his name.
Nice.
Brackets, attack helicopter.
Yes, of course. Or, oh my god, it's getting crazy.
I identify as there.
There. Them. It's like, you're not more than one person. Them. They.
Yes, that's what it was. My pronouns are there because I identify as a location.
Yeah, like
Thare. But where is there?
Oh yeah. I got that straight from one guy who's a comedian. He got backlash for actually telling the truth about the left these days.
Yeah, that's how it is, man.
Back then, people just go underage drinking and stuff, and now people are just going loony.
That's what we got to put up with in the world. It's not too great, but somebody's got to roll with the punches.
So, I had a question for you guys. Do you think that Majira should have gone on the podcast despite
page 3?
Okay, now, guys, the reason that he didn't go on the podcast was because H3H3 made a somewhat tongue-in-cheek transphobic joke about wanting to cut off his dick because he was like overweight, and this is like a self-deprecating kind of humor sort of thing. He's like, oh, I'm so fat, my dick hits the seat whenever I sit down. I might as well chop it off and become transgender. And people thought that was too offensive. and they called him transphobic. And then when he invited Majira on the show, Majira said yes originally, and his audience was like freaking out. You know, they're like, "Oh, Majira, you can't do that. He's a homophobe. He's transphobic. You know, blah blah blah, all that stuff." Do you think that Majira should have stood his ground and went on the show, or not?
Mm-hmm.
I think he should have got on the show.
Yeah,
He should have. He should have stood his ground. I mean, because if him backing out, that's just kind of creates something worse for us.
like
Right.
yeah.
That's the thing, because another problem is Majira has nearly 200,000 subscribers. He's, I would say, probably the most popular furry YouTuber, and like he does have a reputation. And if he does go on this show, you know, you guys know how the furry fandom can be, you know, politically sometimes, and they might rip this guy apart. So, but then again, like if he did go on the show, would it have been a good thing or a bad thing for him? I'm
Well,
not really
we never
sure.
know, but I'm going to say it may have been a better image boost.
It would have been good for us.
It would have been. I think it would have
Well,
been
for
good
us,
for.
yeah.
Yeah. I think it would have been good. It'll just probably end up spreading a positive light to the furry fandom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, despite
I think he was bullied. You know, I think he was bullied out of doing this. That's really what it seems like.
That's
Yeah.
pretty much
Kinda
it.
sad.
And besides, like, and also the whole amount of
fucking cry bullies, man.
like also the amount of people like talking bad about H3.
Right. Well, because he's
Fucking
associated
fucking
with,
cry bullies. They kick you in the balls, and then when you hit them back, they cry, and then the freaking teacher comes, and then you get in trouble.
Well, I mean, Majira wanted to go on the show originally, but everyone's like, "Oh, H3, you know, he made this transphobic joke a while ago, and it's bad and whatnot, and you shouldn't be associated with that." But if I
Man.
was Majira, like, okay,
Man,
It's an edge.
if you were Majira,
It's
like,
an-
what would you do?
Man, the fucking fandom is really abusive at times.
Yeah, it's getting bad. I know it's getting really bad, man. Like, what would you do though? Because like, this is like the whole problem. Like he could have been on this show, and whether or not it went well or not, that's whatever. The fact that he backed down because of the mob backlash is quite concerning.
Very so.
Yeah, it's over an edgy joke, and people are like, "Oh, you can't do a podcast with this guy."
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Wild
it's an edgy
Fox.
joke.
Wild Fox says, "Furries, we want good representation in the media. Also, furries, don't go on a show to try to make us look bad or good. Or sorry, don't go on a show to try to make us look good."
Nah,
I read that wrong.
that's
That sounds
literally
like
the
Kage.
it's literally the paradox we kind of are in the community. Oh well.
Wait, Kage is like that?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Kage's whole message. Don't talk to the media like ever. That's his whole message.
It's,
Yeah,
it's
don't
a
make us look like.
double-sided thing. You got to realize, when and when you can't. But hey,
Yeah, but in
So
cases
double-
like this, I mean, it's kind of like up in the air. Like he really could have gone on, but honestly, my opinion, I think it was probably better that he didn't go on the show. Now, I think he should have, but like
I
his
would-
own
I would have
reputation-
gone on. I would go on the show and talk to Ethan. I wouldn't care how
No.
the furries will react.
Well, like I
Me
wouldn't
neither.
care. But the thing is, like, he's so popular, and you know how this fandom is so judgmental sometimes. Like, he would have been ripped apart.
But,
It's
but
like,
at the
"Oh,
same
why are you
time,
talking to a
who really
transphobe?"
cares about that?
Well, we shouldn't. Nobody should care about that, but some people do.
yeah.
And that's why he was bullied.
Well,
out
those
of the
people
show.
can go get fucked.
Well, that's why. Well, I know, but like that's why he was bullied off the show to begin with, because they were like, "Oh, you're talking to a transphobe. Oh, how dare you!" And it was better for his reputation that he didn't.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. It's really crazy
It's
stuff.
at this stage it is just a lost opportunity that we can never get back and leave it to the fandom. But
Well,
alas, that's
Maybe
kind
I'll
of-
invite H3H3 on this podcast. Who knows?
that'll be better. Might be
You
on the
think he'll
cards,
come on?
people, but who knows? We might, or maybe we'd rather go on H3 show, which is probably better. Anyway,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
maybe.
So let's move on to
Right.
the third story, and this is a crazy one because the article's this is a why does this exist? Porn sites will block UK users without HID starting April the 1st.
Oh.
Like, I mean,
They need an age identification.
Age identification. Oh, what?
Look, looking at this, it just shows how bureaucratically psychotic that whole region is. However, I think I might know where this is coming from. So there's an issue in England, the UK area, where children who have to do research for school, generally when it comes to sex ed, they'll type in the information that they're looking for, and instead they'll just be delivered with a whole bunch of porn sites. This is through like Google and your typical search engine. The downside is that young children are being exposed to a lot of BDSM, a lot of highly unusual sort of sex scenes, and then they apparently play this sort of thing out. There was a child psychologist on a BBC thing I was watching at one point, and there are girls who are being reported that they're being choked, they pass out, or they end up having to go to the hospital with serious injuries because the person that they want to spend some time with ends up going to some of this more obscure sexual acts. And my theory is that this is what they're trying to prevent, or at least where it's coming from, where this doesn't solve the problem at all. What would solve the problem is having the search engine providers filter the results properly.
Right. There's
Well-
many things that can go wrong with it too. Not to mention, there's a couple of the obvious ones as well. What happens if if it gets misused in your identity?
Blackmail.
Now, I'm not entirely sure what this law is supposed to be for. So, like, okay, let's say if you're, I don't know, 13 or 15 or whatever, and you're underage, right? So you're like, I don't know, 13, and you go to a porn site, and then the little thing pops up and says, "Oh, are you 18 or over?" And you click yes. So the website doesn't know if you actually are of age or not. You can just go on there and see anything you want. And I know, not to like, whatever, but like when I was younger, I did that. I'm sure everyone did. Like when you were teenagers, of course you always accessed adult websites when you weren't really supposed to. So I wonder, is this law going to affect that as well?
Who knows?
Like, do I have to show my identification? Like, do I have to scan my license?
They
before I go
say
to
a
one
couple
of
of
these
things,
websites?
including passport, a mobile SMS, a credit card, a driver's license, or also you have to buy this card so you can gain access to these websites for $5 or £5 more rather.
No, United Kingdom. Yeah.
So what about some Russian website that doesn't even have a domain name and just you punch in an IP address and Bob's your uncle?
Yeah.
Oh, it might still be caught in the filter of whatever this law is trying to do. I'm just wondering, like, how is this going to affect basically everyone? I mean, like, if you want to view adult content, do you have to scan your ID?
And even like for adult content that is not not billed as a porn site or whatever. Like,
imagine what's going to happen to like Fur Affinity.
Didn't they say that Fur Affinity might be banned because of this distribution of
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
What about DeviantArt?
Oh man.
21.
All the furries in the UK are gonna lose their porn.
They're going to lose their shit, you mean?
Yeah, basically. Oh my goodness.
Oh man, the
That's
fucking
crazy.
furries! I think they would riot against the UK government for trying to do something like this. I mean,
We want our
it'd be-
porn and our furry waifus.
Furry dating sites will be illegal.
Oh
I don't
no!
I mean, this is just another one of the ways that the UK is trying to usurp power from people. But I do understand why they would do this, because like it's not necessarily moral for like underage kids to like be able to freely view porn. Like that's not good. But at the same time, I did that when I was younger, so I'm kind of like sympathetic. I'm like, I kind of get it, I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
Hey, come on! I mean, when you're freaking teenagers freaking go on the internet to look up porn, and they freaking jerk off to that shit.
Yeah, if you're like 15 or whatever, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go on Pornhub. It's like, oh, are you 18? You just click yes, and it's like, okay, well, whatever. Yeah, like that's just what you do, and like no questions asked. But now you have to scan like your ID or something, like.
And besides, I mean, education is actually more important than freaking try to put restrictions on people.
Yeah, you're right.
But
Inu also says no more howler.
Oh, that's another furry dating site gone. No more finger. At the same time, no more weasel. No more E621.
No more furry buru. I have so much furry porn on there. It's like not even funny.
Oh.
Like, oh my god. Like if all these sites are banned in the UK, like that's crazy. Like what are they gonna do?
Wait,
even if you're an adult, like do you
wouldn't
really
Tinder also be banned?
Huh?
Wouldn't Tinder also be banned in the UK?
Well, that's the thing. Like these laws are so broad, they can pretty much ban whatever they want under these vague descriptions, right?
Huh. No more ink bunny might be a good thing.
Yeah. Tooney's saying, oh, is Twitter going to be banned too? Yeah, I don't know. It might be.
Oh, man.
Oh, God. If Twitter was banned, everybody would be against the UK government at that point.
What about Facebook?
Oh, who cares about Facebook anymore?
Yeah, that's old news.
But you know what? They start under like 18 plus games from things like Steam, Utaku. Are those going to be banned?
Okay. Oh my goodness. Like, so what do you guys think? Like, you think this is a good law? Like, do you think that it's okay for the government to kind of like sanction this kind of stuff? Or you think it should be up to the honor system where sites can just allow people, to kind of just view the content?
I think they need to learn freaking to stop being the smug know-it-alls who think they know what's best for the populace and let give the people some more credit.
The people know what's best for the people, not these freaking elitists.
Honestly, I believe search engines should be more blocking these sort of websites from the general view.
Oh.
Unless, of course, you specifically say you want to access this type of website for a search result. I mean, it's just nuts.
Well, there is safe search and there is, regular search.
Yeah, so safe search doesn't exactly work all the time.
Well, yeah, you're right. Not necessarily. It doesn't always work.
Alas, that's very much kind of just.
Yeah, but I don't agree with having. I mean, there are websites that there are some things that I will say yes to restrictions, like when it comes to the internet, like especially when it comes to like the darknet kind of crap.
Oh, that's not even on the same level, dude.
Oh hell no, that's different.
Don't even go there.
That is only accessible by Tor.
Or the Onion, or
You go to deep web.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very hard to access that shit. You have to really, if you're gonna go in there, there's certain steps.
Yeah, but
don't use your home internet.
Most of the stuff on those parts of the internet are illegal.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have the FBI knocking on your door.
The FBI won't be knocking on my bloody door.
Well, if you buy drugs off like Silk Web or something, yeah. Yeah, you will.
The ATF, was it Australian Federal Police would be knocking on my bloody door if I did that sort of shit.
ATF.
Yeah.
Probably not a
ATF,
good
You know what
FBI.
though? At this stage in the UK, like even the plain old police will knock on your door for unlicensed viewing of porn.
They'll knock on your door if you like something on Twitter.
Yeah, yes, especially if it's from people as as shonky, according to the UK government, like Tommy Robinson.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think we talked about this last week, where there was a woman in the UK who misgendered somebody on Twitter, and then she got arrested for it. The police came to her house and took her to jail for the whole day.
Priorities, man. Where they at?
Oh, sure, the
I
drug
don't know.
dealers we passed, we just leave them and let them do their own little thing. That person murdering that person, oh no, that's fine.
And you know
Okay,
what?
you misgendered, you're going to prison.
You know what? Even the gangsters in the UK say nobody takes the police seriously in the UK.
All right, yeah, we got a question from SDX Darkus. He says, "Wouldn't EX21 and Rule 34 be banned? Under this law, I don't know if it would be necessarily banned, but you would have to probably, I would assume, show your ID before you access these websites. Unless these websites are adhered to the law itself. Unless it's like an underground thing, that depends. I'm not really sure if this law is actually going to come into effect.
And the only websites that are going to do it are those that are actually based in that area. An
Right.
American porn website, they'll either outright block anyone from there or just not even bother.
Well, I don't think that the UK is going to ban websites. I think that they're going to do for instance, Pornhub is a massive corporation, right? Like it's a big corporate business, and they're probably in cahoots with the government of the UK, so they're probably going to adhere to this law. So yeah, that would make sense if they adhere to that. But E621, Rule 34, I'm not sure.
There's Playboy.
Yeah, that would probably be too.
Yeah.
Any major corporation will, but a smaller operation isn't going to bother with it.
Right. That's why I'm saying like E621 and Rule 34, like you said, it might like slip through the cracks of this law or something. I'm not sure. Oh no, that was not a pun. Oh, guys, geez.
Nope. Oh well. Oh, so now what's left? What is left? I know what's left.
Yang 2020. Yang
Pretty
Gang.
much. That's the next topic. Yang Gang. The Andrew Yang. The surprise presidential nominee. Remember the Democrats?
The guy who was born in China.
Yeah, well. Who has strangely become an overnight sensation.
Yeah, as president, my first priority
is
to implement universal. Put it back on there.
Because
but the Constitution says you have to be born in America in order to become a presidential nominee.
Let the thing is no worry.
As if the Democrats are going to listen to they've already broken the rules, man. They've already broken so many rules. They're not gonna listen.
Anyway, yeah. But the thing is, though, Andrew Yang, first thing he does, universal basic income, because he says new technologies, robots, software, artificial intelligence have destroyed more than 4 million US jobs, and in the next 5-10 years, they will eliminate more.
A third of all American workers are at risk of permanent unemployment, and this time the jobs will not come back.
And, for everybody over 18, here's $1,000, nothing, no strings attached.
Paid for by new tax on the companies benefiting most from automation.
Ooh, that's very
so the automation companies, while they're building robots for people, they are going to be taxed while doing it, so they can put the money back in the hands of the people. It's stupid. He's really going for the fully automated gay space communism.
The downside with the way it's been worded, what happens if you're earning I don't know, $400,000 a year? You still get that $1,000 a month.
Give you money, Yang. No strings attached, Yang.
Yeah, it's just a little too much.
So this guy, is he running for president?
Under the Democratic Party, yeah.
Oh yeah,
he's born in China. That can't happen.
But that doesn't really matter.
That's
To-
against
Toonie-
the
to- it's-
Constitution. You
The
can't.
Democrats are not going to listen. The Democrats are not going to
That's
obey the
illegal.
rules.
No, what the
They've
heck?
already done illegal shit, man. Come on.
I know, but like this is like blatantly obvious. Like you have to be 35, you have to be born in the United States. That's like the two basic rules to become president. Like that's it. You can't be born in a foreign country, come here and be like, "Oh, well, I'm going to go run for president now." Like that's not a thing. You can't do that.
But here, right now, we want to celebrate Yang's rise to fame and glory, because you know who's gone on this train.
But I don't know. I sometimes get judgy because you know Obama, what he did.
Yeah, well,
he said he promised that he would do these things, but he ends up lying to everybody and screwing everyone over.
Yeah, he's a bygone, and at least his thing goes. But anyway, you'll never guess who literally jumped on the Yang gang. 4chan did.
4chan is jumping on the train because here's my theory. My theory is that they're trying to get Yang to be he's to become the Democrat nominee for running for the election, just so the Democrats can fail.
Yeah, and there's also, just so the rest of the Democrat rising stars too can fail along with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like prop them up, beat, throw, Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, you name it. They're all going to throw it on his damn side because, Yang has the power of memes on his side. Like this one. The Virgin President versus the Chad, Yang 2020. What?
Yeah, and everything. It's like all it says on the Chad Yang is $1,000, $1,000, $1,000.
Hey, they could have put in freaking Yang's 18, Yang's deportation plan. Which I think it says, what's so funny? The Yang gang, like, ironically, no matter what Yang presents, they will ironically worship it.
Oh,
Yang amnesty plan, slow 18-year program for citizenship, deport criminals that refuses to sign up while also securing the border, and deport any undocumented immigrant who doesn't enroll in Yang's program.
That term is very broad, though.
Yeah.
Dark has brought up something that reminds me of my country about Justin Trudeau being in deep trouble because of money.
Oh.
Something about the SNC Lavalin construction and engineering company. It's one of the most corrupt in the world.
Oh, hey. Guess who's hogging the screen? You make this a hobby every single time.
Am I?
Look at him go.
Man, I just want to hug him.
Come on, what did Trudeau do? I want to know.
Oh.
Yeah, this
all
guy's
right.
a fucking criminal. Sorry.
Well, in all essence, that he did cover up a couple of things and take some lucrative contracts from Libya, whatever it was, some bribery or whatever have you. Wasn't that?
Yeah, that's what SNC Lavalin did. They took contracts from Libya when Gaddafi was in power. They screwed over rural Canada by building a defective power plant in Saskatchewan, my home province, to fail and have numerous breakdowns so the construction company can go back and keep fixing it to get more money out of us. So in other words, a company based in Montreal in the East is once again exploiting the West.
But either way, it's it's pretty crazy what they do to get away. But in short, but it's neither here nor there. But I do want to kind of run through one little crazy story that that just makes you wonder why this thing exists. Behold, this is literally cancer that should not exist.
Okay.
Artists explain why they put white men in MAGA hats on leashes and walk them on Donald Trump star in Hollywood.
Oh, this story. Oh, God.
Okay, if this is not like racism, what the hell is? This is disgusting.
Yeah, and to make it all matter, like they actually made them bark like dogs, feral dogs. And then you know what's so funny? When I showed them to the thinger to other fur groups, it's like this actually would look better with pup masks on.
Oh.
And imagine being like one of those guys on a leash. How embarrassed would you be?
Like no self-respecting white person will
none.
subject themselves to humiliation.
No.
None at all.
Any kind of real...
Yeah.
You have to wonder how much they were paid, though.
Craps and thingos, man. They didn't get paid. They literally they owed the people who were pulling the leashes because more reparations.
For what?
Oh, for white men being doing bad things because more slavery, more racism.
No. What? I mean,
I don't know.
Like,
It's
but
stupid.
My family didn't come here until like the 1900s.
Right.
Why?
And you know what's next? Do you think those MAGA hats are like the real stuff you can buy from the Trump campaign store?
Well, my family freaking came from, on my dad's side, came from France back in 1650, and one of my ancestors got eaten by cannibals. So...
Fun.
Well, okay.
But you know what, though? Is this literally like, let's pay Trump all these money for all these MAGA hats so we can own him and his supporters? To this degree of humiliation. Good grief.
Now, what do they think this is going to accomplish? Do they think it's going to make themselves look better? Gain more votes? I don't think so.
No,
it just looks stupid.
They're slowly destroying themselves. That's all there is to it. They're destroying themselves from the inside out. We don't have to do anything.
I don't know. Crazy.
And you know what? This is
there are people who are complaining. It's like, oh, you're doing this, you're doing this. Like, I'm not freaking doing anything. You're doing all this to yourself.
And you know what? Side note.
It's like, you autistic child, calm down.
Does this also qualify as quote-unquote art?
Oh, no.
I kind of got over the whole art movement when I found out that some git thought that cutting a cow in half was considered artsy. I just...
No. Neither is walking all these people on leashes, hats.
Yeah, I watched Paul Joseph Watson's videos on modern art is still crap.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I remember that video.
And making all weird noises, too, while they're at it. No.
Yeah, especially modern architecture. He made a video about architecture as well.
Yeah, I did. That was really good.
That was clever.
God, some of the buildings, oh my god, they look so freaking horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, they all look horrible. Actually, all of them look horrible.
I was thinking about, what about Dubai?
Well, they just literally...
Oh, you gotta be rich to be there. You have to be rich.
Dubai is kind of an interesting case in the fact that all the buildings are like that, to the point where it's just like they are not contrasting one another, so I guess it looks somewhat okay.
Yeah, because you're just around a bunch of really tall buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, little side note while we wrap this up, I think. Toonie says, I should run for president. You know what? Let's ignore all.
Do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, You know, you heard the man, Toonie. Just do it.
Just do it.
I think he'll actually be better than a lot of what passes for the candidates.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, though, I think that is pretty much what we have for the week. Anyone got any closing statements for this week's kind of cycles?
Yeah. How about everyone pull their head out of their ass?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but that's the most typical statement I can think of. Some of the weird shit that's going on. I mean, when was the last time the people behind Captain Marvel actually saw daylight?
Yeah, all right. Like, they just literally shut themselves in their own cave and thought, you know, woke marketing was the way to go. But no. 4 words, people. I need to say it again.
What? Get woke, go broke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go woke, you go broke.
So, who else got another closing statement for this week's cycle?
Well, I guess I'll say goodbye to everyone. It was a super awesome time talking to you guys. And I shall see you next week.
Indeed. Mikhail?
Don't really have much in terms of closing statements except so long, farewell.
And I believe that kind of is where we're going to wrap this up. So, thanks again to all those who tuned in. I hope you did enjoy the show, took something away from it, you know, as we do, we bring you the good news, we bring you the entertainment, we bring you the information, and we are here as always on YouTube, and on the audio versions, Podbean, iTunes, Google Play Store, and Stitcher. And last of all, this is our soul signing off. Farewell, and until next time.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.